Morning guys, 9:30 on Tuesday. Just having a look at Bitcoin. So we've had a breakout against everything that's going on at the moment. There seems to be people, traders, wanting to put their money into high risk assets like Bitcoin. So we identified this come and handle pattern in the group yesterday. Possibly one of the reasons that this has broken out. Very, very bullish pattern. And one that you need to be able to identify. We've had a straight move up, so didn't even get a breakout and a retest, straight move up, so loads of volume coming in, and we've formed this bull flag, and then we've had another break up, and we're forming potentially another bull flag at the moment. Okay, so I think, you know, this is a great move, but you just need to trade with a degree of caution with everything that's going on. You've got Russia, Ukraine, you've got the SVX possibly dropping today. Markets are green at the moment, so pre-markets are looking green, so that's a good sign, but a lot of talk about the S&P 500 crashing, Nasdaq crashing, again, depending on what happens with the war. Generally, markets are down globally, which isn't a good sign, and people are not putting their money into high-risk assets. People are moving their money into gold and low-risk assets just in case war does break out, etc. So to see this move from Bitcoin, which is, you know, one of the highest risk assets and one of the most volatile markets, I think we just need to be a little bit careful here. I know it's boring and dull. We all want to be trading altcoins, but you know, the idea is not to lose money, and you start throwing money at this market, particularly when you see a move and it's a move that's happened over a very, very short period of time. It's one of those things where we just need to, right, you know, let's calm down a little bit. Let's wait to see what happens. And then let's replot the chart. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to start with a fresh chart, okay? Fresh chart gives you fresh eyes and allows you just to reconfirm support resistance levels and make sure that everything is fine. But you can see immediately from this particular picture what's kind of forming here that we need to be aware of. Okay, we potentially got head and shoulders pattern, which is essentially a bearish pattern. Sorry, one minute, I got this thing on. Leave that out. So head and shoulders pattern, okay? So we need to be aware of this sort of level up here, 53,000 area, okay? Just in case there is a reversal around about this area here. Could see a right shoulder formed and then a move back down to, you know, 28,000 level potentially. Okay, so obviously not confirmed, but we need to be aware of these things. Okay, so head and shoulders aside, let's just look to replot things very, very quickly. Okay, so I'm just concerned from 20th of July moving forward. So trend lines first of all. Okay, so I'm just going to go from the top to this new wick. Okay, so this is a new trend line, may break fairly quickly, but I'm just going to put that in for now, and then I'm going to draw the channel, taking into account the most amount of touches. Okay, so if we get rejected here, we possibly got to move back down. So that's my pattern at the moment: falling channel or descending channel. Ideally, we need a few more touches on the upper trend line to confirm this pattern, but let's put that in play for the time being. Okay, support resistance levels. Right, I'm just going to go from the beginning of the move here. Okay, to the top, and you just want to check with your fib levels that they are lining up with where there's been sort of pivot points or changes in direction with the price action. Okay, so we can see the 0.236 at the top here acted as support and or resistance here and here. Okay, fine, happy with that one. We can check this one as well, support and resistance, fine, happy with that one. Same here. Okay, not as accurate on the 0.5 fib, but we can see support and resistance there. And then the 618, interestingly, we see this acting as resistance at the moment. Resistance there, resistance there, resistance, support there, and just drop through there. So I'm happy with the accuracy of those particular fib levels. I'm happy to plot my trend lines in now. So I'm just going to put resistance levels, change this to green, put this pen tool on. Okay, so resistance, 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 and the top as well, resistance. Okay, so they're my resistance levels at the moment. Then I want support levels, so I'm just going to go support, support. And these are our major levels of support on the bigger time frames, on the daily time frames. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that at the moment. So what I'm going to do, turn this off, and then I'm going to go to the 4-hour time frame. We're going to have a look at the same thing on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Actually, I'm going to go to the 8-hour time frame just to get a bit more information on the chart. So start with trend lines. I'm going to grab my trend line. I'm going to go from the bottom wick here, and then I'm going to go all the way up like so. And I'm just going to take in the most amount of touches. I could go here, but I'm going to go here. Okay, so I'm just taking in these candles here, and I'm going to go straight up. So right now, what you don't want Bitcoin to do is lose this particular trend line. Okay, so this trend line is key for keeping the price action moving upwards. Breakdown would mean a move down, back down to these sort of levels, I think. Okay, now what we can see as well, touch, tempted breakout, tempting to breakout. Okay, so we can almost draw another trend line going straight across and essentially say, is Bitcoin in an ascending triangle? Okay, ascending triangle, touch at the top, loosely call that a touch, bottom, touch, touch. So we're essentially trading in this area here, looking for a breakout, retest, move higher, bullish scenario. Okay, so this is this level here, which is support and resistance 44,473. Okay, new resistance level and possibly new support level moving forward is where Bitcoin is at the moment. So we're trading in this pattern. We're looking for a breakout, move higher, retest. Okay, so if we lose this trend line, then potentially we're going to drop back down to 37,817. Okay, no one wants to hear that, but that's essentially what I'm seeing. So right now, what I need Bitcoin to do is break out, test this, turn it into support, and then start to move higher, and then look at 49,314, which I'm actually going to move. No, I'm going to add another one in at 50,000. So double click the trend line, brings up coordinates, just type in 50,000 like so. Okay, done. So expectations right now, just based on this information that we're looking at the moment, we need Bitcoin to break 44,473 out. So we need Bitcoin to break out here, and then we need some volume coming in. So you see we've had this volume candle here, volume candle here, volume candles here. Okay, we need a bit more volume, so we want another volume candle. We want to see volume in the breakout, potentially a retest, or a bull flag form, and then a move higher. But either way, we just need to flip 44,473 from resistance into support. Ideally, you'd like to see a couple of touches on this particular trend line, a few candle closes, 4-hour candle closes above this trend line. And then potentially you're in a position where you could enter some long positions on altcoins and trading. Okay, you gotta kind of accept that we've missed this move up. Okay, you may well have, if you got in down here, you're in a very good position. Okay, but if you've been missing these moves, then there's no point jumping into a move right now. If you were to look at this chart and go, okay, this is great, next level of resistance is 44,500. I could jump in here, trade this particular area upwards, and make some gains. It's not to say that's not going to happen, but when you actually redraw things, it refocuses your mind, and essentially what we're saying is, right, we're trading right under heavy resistance levels, and what we need to do is we need to break out of this level, retest it, turn it into support, and move higher. Okay, so I'm going to go to the 4-hour time frame. Next thing I just want to look at is the simple moving averages, if I can find them. There we go. Okay, I just want to see where the SMAs are. So this is quite good. So you can see that we're above all of the, on the 4-hour time frame, we're above all of the SMAs. So none of them are now acting as resistance. They're all acting as a cushion of support. So you may find that we start bouncing off these SMAs. So as the, for example, the 200, as the 200 starts to move up like so, we may find that Bitcoin starts to trade up with it. Okay, so this is a good sign, but we need to check the others. So let's check the 12-hour time frame. Okay, so we got SMAs above, so this would be a key area to break, so 50,000, circa 50,000 area. But more importantly, let's check the daily. Okay, so the daily, we've just got the 10, 50 and 200 SMAs at the moment. Okay, so you're basically identifying, because you've got these SMAs here and the 200 here, you're identifying that there's a large level of resistance in and around this level. So we just need to be cautious when we're slicing through this level, when Bitcoin is moving up, that we may face resistance. Okay, so this isn't going to be plain sailing moving up through here. So just bear that in mind on the daily. Okay, then I'm going to turn these off. I just want to have a look at the cloud, the Ichimoku. Okay, so on the 4 hour, I'm concerned with 4 hour. Right. Okay, so we're just breaking through the cloud now, but we're at the top of this particular cloud, so potentially acting as resistance as well. So what we need to do is we need to turn this into support. The concern would be we're crossing red here. Okay, so if we don't break this level and we're trading in this area, potentially when we get to this level, we could see a move down. Okay, so just bear that in mind as well. We need to be breaking through this cloud and then acting, using it as support. If we end up below here, it starts to act as resistance. Okay, so we just need to be careful with regards to our positioning at the moment and identify that we're in a high level of resistance. Okay, cloud. Right, I'm just going to go back to the 4 hour. Just going to turn on my divergence indicator for the daily time frame. Okay, so there's no bearish divergence, which was what I was concerned for, that I can see at the moment. I always check the 12 as well, which is fine, and then check the 4, which is fine as well. Okay, this divergence for many indicators. Generally, the larger time frames it's used for, so I'm not too concerned about the lower time frames, but that's fine as well. Okay, so I'm comfortable with that also. So we're pretty much in this position now where I'm confident with regards to where I'm going to face resistance. I'm confident as to what Bitcoin needs to do next. So we've identified this area that Bitcoin is trading in, and we know that Bitcoin needs to break higher, retest 44,473, and then push on upwards ideally. And we've identified that a breakdown from this pattern potentially would see Bitcoin move down to 38,000, possibly lower. And this is on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so we could even drill down to sort of the 1 hour time frame and then just identify that we essentially know that this area here is an area of support and resistance. Okay, so we could get our trend line tool like so, and we just put in a level over the top here. Okay, and we know that this is going to act as support as well. So within this ascending triangle that we're trading in, let's just get our fib levels to check. So I'm going to go from the bottom of the move down here, okay, to the top of the move, and within this area I can just plot support and resistance levels. So I'm going to put one there. So these are support levels, one there as well. Okay, and then 618 a bit further down, although I'm not sure that there's been much trading going on in this area, so I'm going to remove that for the time being. Okay, so I'm just concerned with the support that's within this ascending triangle that we're trading in. Okay, and then we're just going to remove these fib levels again. So that's all we need to do. This is it. So we know where we're trading, we know what we've got to do, we know where our support and resistance levels are. Actually, I just need to put one more resistance level in here. Okay, so this was where Bitcoin got rejected. Okay, so I'm just going to put another resistance level in there, and then we're done. Okay, so I'll post this chart shortly. I'll put some annotations on this chart, and I'll post it in the group shortly. Just one other thing, just want to have a look at Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance, facing resistance at 43.56, so around about this area, starting to move down. Okay, so let's keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance, because if this moves down, then altcoins are going to perform a lot better, particularly if Bitcoin starts to move upwards. Okay, so if Bitcoin breaks higher, Bitcoin dominance moves down, then it's a good time to be trading altcoins, albeit one eye on this area in general as a high area of resistance. Also, you know, war tensions, and stock markets which open at 2:30 today. Nothing much came from that Fed meeting as far as I'm concerned. No leaked information, closed door meeting, as Nick pointed out, so we're unlikely to hear what was spoken about within that meeting, but let's keep an eye. SPX, okay, SPX pivoted, so we're essentially seeing a bounce in this area and a move upwards. Not convinced at the moment. I'm still thinking that we'll move down. We may well move up before we move down though. So we could see a bit of a rally from the SPX and then from Bitcoin, where Bitcoin could break this this key level. Okay, but let's find out. DXY did fairly similar thing yesterday, so 4-hour time frame. So we had essentially had the move down, but DXY, sorry, this is the dollar. I think this is the Nasdaq. So the dollar was pumping, but starting to move down. So when this moves down, essentially Bitcoin moves up. And when this moves up, essentially Bitcoin moves down. So we keep an eye on the DXY just in case. Where is the Nasdaq? I haven't got it on the screen at the moment. Let's just bring it up. So Nasdaq, again, similar to what happened with the SPX, in that we started to see a move down, but recovery started to set in. Okay, so we are seeing a degree of confidence within the markets, but again, just trade cautiously. If war breaks out, then these are likely to crash. Okay, CME futures gap. I need to add this to the chart. We still got this gap, which hasn't been filled yet, so there's every possibility that this will still get filled. So we need to keep an eye on that as well. Bitcoin shorts, okay, been fairly stable. Okay, no major increases in Bitcoin shorts. As Bitcoin starts to trend higher, we may well see Bitcoin shorts start to increase, which will be a bit of a warning to us that we may see a correction on the horizon. SHIB obviously moving up with Bitcoin, so a lot of coins moving up with Bitcoin. I'm going to do a full TA on SHIB possibly later on today. Just going to see how the day pans out with regards to this resistance level. If we break this resistance level, then I'll have a very quick look at SHIB and send that over. Deutsch, I just need to refresh this chart. Everything still stands. This is still our TA that we've got going on, but I may well redo this one and just take into account the new levels that we've dropped to, and then replot the take profit targets. But SHIB moving well. A lot of good news coming. Deutsch moving well. A lot of good news coming out from those two camps with regards to affiliations with some big players. Okay, PAXG, I'm just keeping an eye on PAXG. I mentioned this yesterday. Essentially, this is tethered with gold. And you can see as Bitcoin moves higher, gold moves lower. So if Bitcoin moves lower, gold moves higher. So it's kind of a safe haven for your crypto if there is high volatility. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this as an idea later on. Okay, so we know what we're doing. I'm going to leave it there, and I will redo this chart and post it in the group, and then we can work from that chart moving forward. Not this chart, the other chart that I did. Okay, so I'll update you throughout the day. Let's keep an eye on the markets at 2:30 and see what happens. Let's see if Bitcoin can break that resistance. If it can, let's look at posting some setups and get cracking. Keep an eye on tomorrow. There's rumours about war starting tomorrow. I'm not sure it's ever going to happen, to be honest with you. I think it's well, who knows. I don't want to say one thing and then something else happens, but I'm just not convinced it was going to happen. But there's a lot of talk about if it does happen, then potentially it's going to happen tomorrow. So just keep an eye on things. Okay, chat soon. Cheers.